Do you like the Joker? Do you like Bungie Gummel? Do you like responding to the question why with a And did you at once during your Magic journey play Nekuzar? Congratulations, you are a perfect fit for KEFKA Court Mage. If Distraction and Disruption wasn't a game plan until now, we found its commander. CDH has become more a stalemate of flash combos and waiting like a tea party with one another until someone says a little bit of drama for us to feast on. No more. KEFKA is going to make sure every single turn has something chained. No one, and I mean no one, gets through having to discard a card without a little bitty itty hurt feeling. And on top of that, you get to benefit off their misfortune. Let me make this clear. This deck is for pilots with balls. I'm talking big ol' heavy truck nuts. If you cannot politic with people after poking them in the side with a stick and going, ee-hee, if you can't deflect that after people start pointing irritation at you, because they will, I would not play this deck. But for those of you with a sense of humor and ability to make friends, i.e. you extroverts out there, you are going to love this deck. You get to simultaneously irritate the table, jam every turn, all while being It is a Grixis commander with card advantage with a technical infinite mana outlet. So if you do form infinite mana, you can spam the activated ability and make them exile all their permanents. That doesn't win you the game, but it might as well. And you're in Grixis, so you'll find a way. And wow, a Grixis commander that works well with Displacer Kitten? KEFKA is for the psychos. KEFKA is for the Grixis players that wanted something that they get to hit people with and laugh. Long are the days of Crombat. No, we're attacking with KEFKA, baby. So why should you play KEFKA Court Mage? What would make anyone do this outside of what I've already mentioned? Well, mechanically, KEFKA enters the battlefield and makes everyone, including yourself, discard a card. And for each type of card discarded this way, you get to draw one. Meaning, as long as the table does not coordinate all discarding a land, you could potentially be drawing 4 cards and removing threats from their hand that would have otherwise been a problem for you. And I need to stress this, his ETB and attack trigger of making other people discard is more valuable as a disruption tool than a card draw tool. You're already in Grixis, you do not need it. The point of this with KEFKA, why you would run KEFKA over something like Rogsai, is the fact that you are continually disrupting and frustrating your opponents while maintaining an advantage. People losing their nice value engines or maybe their tutors or things that they don't feel like they need in the moment, it's going to dismantle their mental, let alone their deck. Not only that, you're fueling your own breach. And yes, you are fueling other people's breaches. You need to be careful of that. If you have a turbo deck at the table, maybe talk about what they're discarding. Do not just be like, hey, what permanent types did you discard, guys? Ask the cards in graveyards. It's important. Plus, this deck will be running reanimation packages. That way, if they do discard something good, I'm going to assume at least once there will be a Draenith, there will be an Orcish Bowmaster, there will be a Spellseeker discarded because they already had what they wanted in their hand and didn't need those things. And you're gonna have easy reanimation targets now, or your own reanimation targets. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the 3 game plans that KEFKA Court Mage has. First, defeat Gon. Oh, wrong character. First, disruption. You get KEFKA out, he ETBs, and then you attack. And by that time, you've now drawn 2 to 6 cards, and you've dismantled people's hands. I cannot stress enough, if you're going to play this commander, this needs to be your #1 game plan. If it's not, go play Rogsai. Number 2, breach and reanimation through discarding your own cards. It's effectively like having Gamble constantly that you know you can discard to. You're going to be drawing cards and you're going to discard whatever's already in your hand that you want to reanimate, i.e. Villas, i.e. Hullbreaker Horror, i.e. Displacer Kitten. For mana efficiency, I guess. We're shortcoming here, but you know. Hoarding Broodlord being one of my favorite. Hoarding Broodlord, Saw in Half, Sacrifice, Bear it to the abyss. And if there's a lot of red players at the table, please don't make my same mistake. Do not cast Peer. Please just grab Adnos instead. I know there's a lot of high CMC cards in this deck, but Grixis, you know, if you draw 10 cards, you'll probably win, let's be honest. In my list, I personally also run the World Gorger Dragon loose. Obviously, just have another creature in your graveyard before going for that. Unless you want to intentionally draw. I don't know you. And last but not least, our third point, and the spice point that I cannot stress enough how much this third point matters. Goofy Goober. No, this is not a joke. I'm not adding a third point to make this funnier or to complete my 3-point cycle that I do every video. We need to acknowledge this game is a social game. And you being KEFKA, you have to play up the goofy angle. If you can't be goofy with this deck and you act, I'm gonna dismantle everyone's hands, no. You gotta be like, I can't wait to tickle that palm, baby. Like, I don't have any better jokes. My point is, you can't be the villain. If you act too serious in this deck, you're gonna get just your kicked in. It's not gonna be fun. But the long short of this deck with KEFKA, and what you need to be looking out for when playing it, are the angles presented by the discards. You should be always looking for reanimation targets. You should always be looking for ways to re-ETB and attack with KEFKA. Always attack before flickering KEFKA. I cannot tell you how many players I've seen draw Essence Flux, get a happy face, cast it, and realize they could have gone to combat to get 2 triggers. So now that we've discussed that, let's look over the spice of this list. What was that? Oh, it has a backside? I swear to God, if you angle this deck, they'll play the backside. Creatures! Boy, do we got some spice in here. Displacer Kitten, should I even have to explain this? Constantly re-ETB KEFKA after you've gone to combat. And just churn through your deck, get everyone's hands completely discarded, draw enough to where you can probably go for a win or push for something. Obviously, you can then use Displacer Kitten as it's meant to be and get mana out of it and value and so many other things. Normally dropping this means a win. Harmonic Prodigy, KEFKA's a wizard, and at worst, you pay 2 mana to get 2 triggers by attacking on the turn. Oh no! Trust me, paying 3 mana to play Essence Flux and Harmonic Prodigy on 1 turn to get 4 triggers, if you do it properly, do attacks, you're gonna net insane value and destroy the entire rest of the table. So many KEFKA games where something like this happened, everyone goes, I don't really have anything, I already discarded it. Everyone's gonna discard things and everyone's gonna be just hapless. They're just, nothing can happen. They're just sitting there with noodles and you're gonna be sitting there grinding stuff, man. It's nasty. Then we have a reanimation targets. I chose World Gorger Dragon, Villas, Hullbreaker Horror, and Hoarding Broodlord. Each one of these has an individual line. Hullbreaker Horror. When you reanimate a Hullbreaker Horror, you should be looking to go infinite by bouncing 2 mana positive rocks. That means Soul Ring, and that means any other rock, normally. Then, once you have infinite mana, re-ETB KEFKA as many times as you can using the Hullbreaker trigger to draw through and see if you can get a win. World Gorger Dragon. First, ETB KEFKA and pitch the World Gorger Dragon to your graveyard. Then, cast Animate Dead, targeting World Gorger Dragon. Once you have done so, it will enter the battlefield and exile all of the permanents. It will then have all of them come back due to the fact that it dies because Animate Dead is off the battlefield. As a result, you will get a KEFKA trigger, all of your stuff will come back, you will get draw triggers, you will empty everyone else's hands, and when you are ready, and the loop has been done enough times, and you've netted all the mana you want, simply choose a new Animate Dead target. Because there will be one, because you by now should have discarded and milled through enough that you found another creature to put in your graveyard, or a creature in their graveyard. It can hit both. Villas, Broker of Blood. You pay a black mana, you put a -1/-1 counter on someone else's creature, and then you get to draw 2 cards. Does this combo with KEFKA? No. Does it draw you cards and totally busted? Yes. And last but not least, Hoarding Broodlord. We do the same thing we do with World Gorger Dragon, where we simply discard it to KEFKA's trigger and then we reanimate it. Once it is on the battlefield, you will exile a card face down under it and you are going to choose Saw in Half. You will cast Saw in Half. You will now have 2 Hoarding Broodlords. They will get sacrifice and peer into the abyss. You will convoke it, use sacrifice, and then you will gain 8 mana. You will then use that 8 mana plus the convocability of the other that you have a copy of now, and you will cast Peer to the Abyss, floating 2 black mana. Outside of this, we have things to copy KEFKA and sacrifice to, as well as ways to re-ETB him, such as Thassa. Yeah, Thassa Deep Dwelling, you know, CDH staple, Thassa. Outside of this, we have General Flash enablers, and of course Thassa's Oracle and Orcish Bowmaster. Need I explain more? Sorceries! This deck gets to run Demonic Tutor twice, and by Demonic Tutor, I mean Demonic Council. Demonic Council is going to be very easy to use due to the fact that it needs 4 different card types in your graveyard, and that is going to be very achievable with KEFKA. In doing so, and knowing that you are running this card, I highly suggest making sure you are discarding cards during KEFKA's ETB that will activate this, having a little precursor knowledge that you may be drawing into it. So, instead of discarding that land, maybe give up that spell that you don't think you need in the moment to see if you can activate this later. Trust me, it's happened plenty to me so far. I've had about 8 games with this commander, and it's come into play twice already. And now a insane heavy hitter in this deck, and I cannot stress this more. This is how I won 4 of my 8 games, is Mnemonic Betrayal. There is going to be so much in these graveyards, dude. It's going to be Christmas morning. I was the cocaine bear. I came downstairs Christmas morning and saw every graveyard, and it was just full of cool stuff. Something else kind of fun is I am running Blasphemous Act due to the fact that we are reanimating often, and I feel like getting to re-ETB KEFKA in places where you feel like you don't have any attacks is not a bad idea. So it's a nice self-destruct button that resets the game and puts you in a better position than other people, plus you have a reanimation and they probably don't. And of course, Yawgmoths will. Need I say more? Instance, baby. I'm running Adnos because I'm not a... Yeah, what's the average CMC of this? I don't know, probably 12. I love this card. It's at instant speed over other people, and you just need that nowadays. I don't care if I end up hitting all 4 of my 10 whatever mana bombs in a row. I don't care. If it happens to me, I'll laugh it off. Adnos is Adnos. Stop cutting it. Again, truck nuts. Then we've got Essence Flux, the re-ETB KEFKA. We have our reanimation spells. And of course, as we talked about earlier, we have Saw in Half, which in a pinch can be used to copy KEFKA instead, getting double ETBs after you attack. Other than that, you got your freeze loops for brain freeze, you got your tutors, you got your Kana spells, and wait, what's that? It's Sacrifice, which again can be used interchangeably. Remember, it's a lot of black mana for 1 black. Artifacts. It's Grixis artifacts. What do you want? Enchantments. We got 2 pieces of spice. First, we got Animate Dead, which we already talked about. You know how that works now. World Gorger loops and generally taking good things from graveyards, but waste not. If you were not a part of Standard at the time this was strong, I'm sorry, you missed out on a wonderful time. Waste not is a great way to continually gain value by people discarding, and so if you're in a mid-range game plan, this is a great key. If a lot of people at the table are playing Blue Farm and other Esper lists, Esper Plus, you should really be keeping this card. Trust me, it'll be insane value by the end of the day, by the end of the game. Lands. Okay, how do you mulligan this deck? First off, you want mana. Mana and mana. So the card draws onto your command zone, just get the commander out. If you get anything else, cool. You gotta get KEFKA out. This is basically playing Tivit. You just get Tivit on board. It's Grixis Tivit in a way, which is a really weird comparison, but I made it and I'm sticking to it. It's my video. This video ain't big enough for the 2 of us. That's it. That's the mulligans. I'm not kidding. Get KEFKA out. You will draw through. Obviously, no duh, try to keep some things for your mid-range game plan. If you can find a Rhystic, if you can find a Mystic, if you can find anything else that gives you value, keep it. You're not stupid, and I'm not here to baby you. You are here to cast KEFKA. That's why you're playing this deck. You're not playing Roxai. You didn't need to hear me go over the normal Grixis game plan and tell you how to be smart with your mulligans. No, you needed to hear the acceptance that yes, this deck is about playing KEFKA, and that's why you're choosing this deck. In conclusion, should you play KEFKA Court Mage? Only if you have the will, and I cannot stress that enough. Thank you for watching today's video. I am trying to go full-time with YouTube. I will be opening up a Patreon soon, as well as my Discord. I hope to see you there. I also have merch coming. I have lots of things coming, so please subscribe, please stick around, and please help me try to get 10,000 subs by Vegas. I'm trying to get sponsors. DefCat out.